Okay guys, welcome back. So today we're going to dive into some more shaft tests, Matty boy.
Yes.
We've never really extensively tested graphite shafts with you.
No, I'll take a little sample and review one usually. But
Texas rebar sort of
yeah,
idea.
stuff for fun. Yeah. No, I've never had like a fit for it or a comparison between my own shaft and that. I haven't really done that.
We get a lot of questions now. As that segment grows in popularity, I think while maybe Aerotech and maybe one or two other companies had tour-weighted graphite iron shafts, there maybe wasn't enough sort of offerings out there, enough variance, variety in the market to can turn people's heads. But I think we have that now.
Yeah.
Two of the main ones in our store, LA Golf, the L series irons. Our good pal Drew Cooper plays these.
That's right.
Loves them.
Yeah.
Really changed his ball flight from a ballooning, really high flight to something that kind of can penetrate way better.
Oh, it flattened it out?
Totally.
Oh, really?
Like a massive difference.
Huh.
And the other one we get asked about a lot is the Mitsubishi MMT.
Right.
Probably of all the shafts out there, the one I see people kind of maybe trying the most.
The MMT is?
A lot,
yeah,
a lot with that. So we want to compare that to your Project XLS.
Yeah.
These are kind of around the same weight. You've got the 6.5, 125 gram.
Yep.
The MMT is also 125 gram. When we weighed those, there was 1 gram in it.
Yeah, they were literally
basically the same. And then the 120 LA Golf, so it's fractionally lighter, but it'll be interesting to see for you what that does and sort of how the profile. I mean, this is very stiff.
I was going to say, if it flattened out Drew Cooper's flight, I'm sure it's plenty stiff.
And the funny thing was with Drew, I remember when he was telling me about it, and I said, okay, I'm going to turn the screen off here, and I want you just to hit some.
Okay.
I don't want you to know why it's happening, because I said to him, what's different about your delivery? And he's like, I don't actually know. What it was is his angle of attack completely changed with the graphite shaft versus the steel shaft.
Interesting.
So spin loft basically narrowed slightly, so he was able to spin it in a kind of lower window.
That's cool.
Which was very cool.
Yeah.
So, but everyone's different. So
yeah,
we have your gamer spec Titleist T100 with the Project X. So let's get some baseline numbers from this, and then we'll test the graphite.
Sounds good.
That's nice.
It's my 6 iron.
That is nice.
Oof.
Oh, pretty much ideal.
That's as good as I hit my 6 iron ever. It's good too.
Nice, really nice, Matty.
That's a good one, just turned over a little. Sit down. Yeah, pretty good.
All right, Matty, so LA Golf up first. 120 gram, X-Flex, very stout. Light and stiff, not a combination I recommend. For
I was going to say, that's not your favorite usually, is it?
Generally isn't, but I have played these shafts myself in a set of P760s. Really liked them.
Did you?
Yeah, really liked them. I thought they felt great. Of all the graphite shafts I've ever tried, actually, to me, it was the best feeling one I've ever tried. And we've had, as I say, a lot of success in the bays with these.
Nice.
Yeah. That was a good swing.
That felt very solid. Felt nice. So yeah, I can't square the face. I don't know why. Solid too. It's a good one.
Got a chance. Oh,
Still
soft
slow.
bounce. That rain last night didn't help there, Matty boy. So in terms of launch, exactly the same. Ball speed a shade down. Probably attribute that to the slightly more toey strike.
I did feel like I got the toe with this a fair amount more, which was interesting.
I mean, look at this.
That's funny.
Dynamic loft, dynamic lie, speed.
So basically just strike?
Yeah.
Strike quality?
Slightly, I mean, angle of attack, path, I mean, like crazy similar.
Yeah.
So for effectively the same message and just a little bit different in the strike, probably say the weight is not your friend, or the lack of weight is not your friend in this case.
I did I made a few swings that I felt like were good and looked up expecting to see the ball fly a certain way, and it wasn't quite what I thought. So maybe it just doesn't quite suit me the same.
And although we haven't done this test before, we have done tests in the past where we've been able to dispel the myth that graphite shafts are soft and spinny, super loose.
Yeah.
You're going to hit it all over the map. I mean,
It's not that.
not that. Definitely not that.
No, it feels way stiffer than my Project X does. I can tell you that right now. Even
And-
being lighter,
Yeah.
way stiffer.
Yeah.
I
And I
couldn't,
think-
honestly couldn't feel it. I don't think I could feel it moving around.
Is that
much.
right?
Not really.
It's really, really stiff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move into the MMT, see what you feel with that. The shaft that's the closest to yours would be, out of these two graphites that we're trying, it would definitely be the MMT.
Gotcha.
So curious to see what your thoughts are on this. Have you tried MMT before?
I'm sure I've hit a few balls with it. I
Okay.
can't remember if we've done a video or not.
Okay.
You had a set of these, didn't you?
I did it. I'm sure I did.
Oh, yeah.
Must have.
I'm certain you did.
No, I definitely.
Yeah.
I actually had them in my mirrors at one point.
That's right, in your
Yeah.
mirrors,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I know I've hit it, but just not extensively, so I'm curious.
Okay.
That felt really good.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah, I like that flight a lot. Felt nice. Similar to the one before, maybe just a little more toe side strike. It's good too.
That's a lovely strike.
This one I think suits me better than LA.
100%. Like,
It's nothing against the LA. It's
No.
just this just suits me a little better.
and if I was going to predict one at the start of one I really thought would work well for you, if you had to go graphite, MMT would have been exactly where I would have leaned towards.
Yeah, it's finding a comfortable, nearly identical window.
But
Nice
better up
strike.
here, right?
Yeah, nice
strike. That's where the weight difference between LA and MMT
Okay.
is for me, because weight is one of the biggest determining factors on how you can time it.
Right.
Right, you've got to either feel it bend or you've got to feel it through weight. One or the other is going to help you time it.
Okay.
If you pull away both of those things, and you've heard me say that a lot of times, stiff and light is a
Yep.
bad combination.
So it, in this case, is true.
Exactly. So that's where your loss of sweet spot awareness was severely hindered. Your sort of sweet spot awareness was severely hindered by the fact the club was by far the lightest with the LA.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
That's really interesting.
really, really good. In terms of ball flight data, though, I mean, if you were standing watching you hit balls in the range, you wouldn't see it.
No, you wouldn't visually see those,
No.
would you? I mean, look at the tracings on the left. It's ridiculous.
It's
They're insane.
ridiculous. It's identical, and we're talking half a mile an hour, between this one and that one. 1 mile an hour between yours and the LA.
Yep. As we said, the more shots we hit, the closer they got.
The closer
together.
they got, delivered loft similar, attack angle pretty much the same.
A little better face management, maybe with the MMT. Just a bit.
It kind of looked like MMT won out in just about every category you would want it to.
Yeah, just fractionally, isn't it?
Just a little bit. But if we were in a fit right now and I was presenting you data to try and make a case, I wouldn't be looking as much at the numbers because they're all too similar to really make a case.
Good point.
I'd be looking underneath at look how consistent you were, Matty. Look how on your yardage it didn't change. There was no deviation. Spin didn't change.
Yes.
Your delivery loft didn't change. So your variables as a high-end player were minimized by using that particular combination.
Which is what you want out of a shaft, right?
Absolutely. You'd walk out that going, yep, sign me up for all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely, if I had to come in and said to you, I want to switch to graphite, who knows why, arthritis or something like that.
Totally.
You would have easily convinced me with this one.
Yeah.
I'd have no issue walking out of the store. I mean, the price is still a factor, but aside from that, there's no other obstacle to it.
And we see some other things with manufacturing tolerances as well that, graphite tends to come out on our pure machine straighter.
Is that right?
Yeah, yep. We see some variability in time to time on steel shafts, little bows in them and stuff like that. So the steel at times can show some inconsistency, whereas I don't normally see that from high-end graphite.
It's worth mentioning when you're spending that much on a club. It's nice to know that the tolerance is so tight.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good though.
Yeah, that was enjoyable. Yep.
Definitely.
I think that MMT would be, I'll keep that in mind if I ever want to switch to graphite. I mean, why not?
Something to think about. I mean, I think we've always talked about having like a trial set for you, and
Yep.
like when new shafts come in, we build you a set. We don't just give you a shaft and like this. Like I'd want to see you hit knockdown shots and flighted long irons and
short irons even. I'd be curious what the short irons would feel
totally
like.
how they would they feel great? Would they feel like you just had ultimate control of the club face?
Yep.
Be really cool.
Yeah, something to think about for the future.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. Well, guys, I mean, here, in our shop, Graphite takes up half of our iron shaft options, right? It's 50%. I mean, we have 75 iron shafts that way. We have 75 steel shafts the other way. We don't go 80-20 in favor of steel because we believe everyone should use steel. We believe there is a movement and there should be a migration, towards more people trying graphite. Matt's a great case. I mean, you guys all, admire Matty for his speed and things like that. So most people would say, well, he's the last person we should, really have trying graphite. That's not the case. In a situation like this, where we just let the situation play out for itself, we saw Matty, make those little marginal gains. Is it enough to turn his head away from what he's got? It might be and it might not be. Who knows?
Yeah.
There wasn't a great deal of difference, but you might say, I'll take consistency anywhere I can get it.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like there's any player that shouldn't at least consider it. That's what I'm
Definitely.
taking away from this. There shouldn't be anyone going, there's no way I'm that guy. Anyone, Drew Cooper could be a prime example.
Yeah.
Right down to someone who wants to gain a bit of distance and height that swings slower.
Totally.
And everyone in between.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. The two fastest guys we've pretty much ever had in the channel, Matty and Drew Cooper,
you can play
both
graphite.
making a hard case. Drew, in his case, says he'll never go back to steel.
That's crazy.
And in this case, that MMT was unbelievable.
Yeah,
for
it was
you.
great.
So,
Loved it.
Really, really cool. And hopefully, again, another one of those sort of test cases, samples that you guys can maybe use to drive your decision making when it goes to your next set of irons, whether it comes to just using the same shaft you've always used. We always say, please don't do that. Don't just assume that because you had a KBS tour or a Project X, whatever it might be, that's always the shaft you need. Be open-minded enough to explore other shafts when you're trying out new heads. You're changing golf balls, that brings its own variables, all that sort of stuff. It's all little kind of those little 1% that change your performance overall.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Definitely. Okay, guys, stay tuned for more tests like this. We'll see you again soon.